Okay, also ich bin zurück.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Das ist unhöflich.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ich wollte gerade sagen, dass es unhöflich ist, jemandem ins Wort zu fallen. Und dann tut das nochmal. Was für ein Bastard. Sackratte.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh nee. Warte mal. Das versuche ich später nochmal. Also das ist mir gerade jetzt erst
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's... Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Danke. Ich muss kurz mal ein Bettgeschäft verrichten. Jo. Nee.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Es gibt wirklich viel, das ich versuchen will. Hä? Also jetzt geht's wieder. Also ich bin wirklich sprachlos. Hä?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Oh nö. Willst du mich verarschen? Alter, der fällt mir die ganze Zeit ins Wort, dann versuche ich ihm einmal ins Wort zu fallen.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Hat dir schon mal jemand gesagt, dass du ein schlechter Verlierer bist? Nein? Dann hörst du es jetzt. Yep, die Aufnahme läuft jetzt dann knapp eine halbe Stunde. Also ich rede über die Aufnahme, nicht das Video. Das Video werde ich noch schneiden. Also die Szene, wo ich weg war, kommt auf jeden Fall raus. Oder wird beschleunigt.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ja, und jetzt drücke ich mal auf Nein. Oder doch?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Ja, bestimmt habe ich die Stärke dazu. Bestimmt, ja.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Welche Nummer bin ich eigentlich nochmal? War es 427? Also 27, 472? Warte mal, war es 207 oder 274? Also ich bin...
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Ja. Keine Ahnung, vielleicht werde ich später nochmal reinzoomen und schauen, welche Nummer ich bin, aber ich habe es wirklich vergessen.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable.
Niemals.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Warte mal. Drogengeräte, gut. Ja, jetzt habe ich es eingestellt. Ich hoffe mal, also davor ging es für mich etwas zu leise.
The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself? Is that what you wanted? Control?
Ja.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go. Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Ja, warte mal, ich schaue kurz mal, wie man das löst. Nee, Alter, das tue ich mir jetzt nicht an. Gut, ich werde den Link zu dem Video verlinken, unten bei der Videobeschreibung. Also wirklich, darauf wäre ich echt nie gekommen. Das ist ein englischer YouTuber. Ja, echt. Nee, Mann. Das tue ich mir jetzt auch nicht an. Okay, damit beende ich hier die Folge und ciao, ciao. Oh. Ja, klar, hier, ich bestätige. Was ist Zeit überhaupt? Zeit ist ja. Gibt es etwas über dich, das du mir nicht erzählt hast? Ja. Hilfe. Ja. Wirst du zurückkommen und mich zu besuchen? Ja, auf jeden Fall. Ich habe die letzte Folge versehentlich gelöscht. Also hiermit willkommen. Mit dieser schlechten Nachricht begrüße ich euch. Aber das Ende von der letzten Folge war so oder so, ja, eher mau, also nicht wirklich was, also ja, könnte man besser haben. Ich bin sehr enttäuscht darüber. Aber ich werde es nicht nochmal machen. Ganz aus dem einfachen Grund, das Ende war einfach nur nervig. Ja, war nervig, nicht mehr, nicht weniger, einfach nur nervig.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Also ich habe dort auch hier das hier freigeschalten. Ich kann es auch gerne erklären. Also ich bin wie normal links gegangen.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ja, klar. Ich bin wie normal links gegangen, bin aber nicht zum Boss gegangen, sondern die Treppe nach unten. Das kommt man dann in den Raum, da kommt ein Auto, irgendwann mal. Und ab dahin geht's einfach nur, ist es einfach nur ein Dauerloop. Also wirklich, man läuft, ich bin ungelogen 7 Minuten lang einfach nur im Kreis gelaufen und irgendwann mal war es halt vorbei. Ja, ich bin gestorben. Eine Frau hat mich gefunden. Ich glaube, ihr Name war Marianne. Und es war einfach vorbei. Ja. Also seid mir nicht böse, wenn ich das nicht nochmal mache, aber ganz im Ernst. Nochmal im Kreis rumrennen, um euch dieses Ende zu zeigen, tue ich mir echt nicht nochmal an. Das mit dem Broom Closet, das habe ich wirklich wirklich gern gemacht. Das ist einfach nur so ein richtig lustiges Ende. Also kein Ende, das ist einfach nur ein richtig lustiges Gespräch, das ich mir auch gerne häufiger reinziehen würde. Aber das war wirklich einfach nur unnötig.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Aber eine Sache kann ich noch zeigen.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
In der letzten Folge bin ich hier runtergesprungen.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Ja, damit hat die letzte Folge geendet. Warte mal, ich glaube, da war noch was. Kam das in der vorletzten Folge? Kam das in der letzten Folge? Also, wenn ich über die letzte Folge rede, war das die gelöschte Folge.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Ich mach das
Stanley
gerne
decided to
nochmal.
go to the meeting room.
Ja,
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ja. Ich mach das nochmal und dann mal schauen.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Also wenn ich das schon gemacht habe, dann nehme ich das raus. Wenn ich
Yet
das,
there was not a single person here either.
ja, halt
Feeling a
mal.
wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway. Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, The truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Ja, so in etwa.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Ja,
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Also wirklich, kann die Stimme mal aufhören zu labern? Echt. Und hier sind wir.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Vielen Dank. Adios.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Wow. Wow, die Stimme hat sich geändert. Was für
And yet
ein
it would be just a few
Spektakel.
minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every
weiß es
path you
nicht.
can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Ja, also, hier. Das Einzige, was in der letzten Folge verpasst wurde, war vielleicht hier dieses Museum. Also von aufregenden Sachen. Jo. Hier kann man die Computers wieder ausschalten. Juhu. Ja. Also wirklich, beim letzten Mal war ich aufgeregt, dass ich diesen Raum hier gefunden habe. Aber, ja. Das hier ist nun mal einfach nur ein Museum. Ja, Damit habt ihr dieses Ende hier auch.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Was ich beim letzten Mal auch angemerkt habe, war, dass ich das lustig finde, dass sie bei der PC-Version sagen, dass man den PC ausschalten soll und bei der PS-Version, dass man die PlayStation ausschalten soll. Ein lustiges Merkmal. Ja. Aber jetzt kann ich wahrscheinlich wieder mit Aufregung rangehen, daher ab jetzt wieder alles neu sein wird. Abgesehen von der Stimme. Oh Gott.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
No.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
Cool drink, cool. Jo, also jetzt bin ich wieder aufgeregt.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly kept, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nee.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Wirklich?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Okay. Also wenn man danach gehen würde, kenne ich viele Leute, die keine echten Personen sind. Ja.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember, that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Okay. Ja, okay, ich kapiere es irgendwie nicht. Hä?
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Okay. Cool. Ja. Warte mal. Das ist ein Stuhl. Ich verstehe es nicht. Es geht den ganzen Weg hier zurück.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Ja, ich weiß, dass er will, dass ich in... Warte, Also ich bin hier. Okay.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Nein. Oh Gott. Er hat mich getötet. Oh Gott. Was ein Arschleute. Hä?
Oh! I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? that there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nö.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nö. Garantiert nicht. Hä?
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Bist du dir wirklich sicher, dass ich die linke Tür benutze? Nö. Hier. Siehst du? Probleme?
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Warte mal, wie... Also... Was?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Night Shark 115. So richtig?
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine, you're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You...
Ich habe mein Bestes
When
gegeben.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right?
Nö, du hast ihn umgebracht.
Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything.
Nö.
This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Ende. Ja, schön.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Also ich habe da was Lustiges gesehen, das würde ich gerne mal ausprobieren.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nein, ich habe was davor gesehen, dafür möchte ich unbedingt hin.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Da muss doch irgendwas sein. Okay, ja, muss doch was sein, oder? Nee, shit. Okay. Ich dachte...
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten
Gut,
about.
diesmal stecke ich
Please,
nicht
stop trying to make
versprochen.
every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Alter, ich bin
That's her,
Single, was soll die
Stanley.
Kacke? Werde ich jetzt eine Lüge durchleben?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Co jetzt?
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Oh, klar.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Nö. Jetzt weigere ich mich. Muss es doch irgendwas geben. Von mir aus.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay, tue ich eben nicht. Ja, und weiter. Ihr lässt mir auch keine Wahl, hä?
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Ich hinterfrage so einiges, aber ich habe keine Lust, ja, unnötig zu warten. Das funktioniert
Suppose I
nicht.
can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried...
Okay, gut. Das Ende war irgendwie seltsam. Aber damit verabschiede ich mich von dieser Folge. Gut, ja. War nichts Besonderes, aber... Ciao, ciao, ciao.